Hey guys, it's Richard at Altfins with another market update. Today I will cover some news on the regulatory front, review charts of Bitcoin, Ethereum and Luna, Terra Luna, and look at other coins in an uptrend. Before I do that, I wanted to mention that we have now launched our mobile app, the first version. If you go to our homepage, altfins.com, you'll get a chance to either download an iOS or an Android version. Please do check it out and send us your feedback. It is the first version, but it includes some really cool content like the patterns, curated charts, and the news and events content as well. So let's dive into it. Today is a very good day in crypto market. As you can see, we're up high single digits for many of the coins, in some cases even double digits like Terra Luna. That really is on the heels of an executive order from the Biden administration that came out overnight, in which basically he or the White House basically just kicked the can down the road without any specific directives, really. Instead, they're just asking each federal agency to coordinate and work on regulations for this asset class and balancing innovation with consumer protection. So in the near term, really the administration is just passing the buck and really appears focused on regulation of stablecoins. And so this overhang, one of a few, appears to be dissipating, or at least for the moment is removed. And I think that was the reason for the rally in the crypto assets. Overall, we've been in the downtrend, relentless downtrend, right? If you've been watching, it's obviously clear, but you can see that in our trend ratings for Bitcoin, Ethereum. Really most of the coins are in a down, if not strong downtrend, with a few exceptions that we'll look at today. But looking closer at Bitcoin and Ethereum, the two major coins, the bellwethers, we're seeing some improvement. Really, that the downtrend is turning into a sideways action. If you look at Bitcoin here, similar sideways action happened in late spring or early summer of last year and resulted in a nice run up. So sideways, the new up for the time being. This is good to see that we're going sideways and have stopped going down. In fact, Bitcoin had made a higher low recently, which is a bullish indication of potential trend reversal, but it has been stopped 3 times at the $45,000 level. In fact, if I count this as well, then even 4 times in the last couple of months, the $45,000 resistance, which by the way we talk about here in the curated charts as well, that's a major resistance area. It's been rejected a few times there, so I would be taking some profits there if you are participating in this rally. But again, it's positive to see that we're going sideways instead of down. We saw, like I said, a higher low recently. It would be really positive for it to break through that $45,000 resistance. More than likely would then revisit the $50,000 mark, which is really going to be also a very stiff resistance because it also lines up with the 200-day moving average. And don't underestimate the 200-day moving average. Is a very important level, either as a support or a resistance level. Ethereum looks a bit worse, I would say, because it did make a higher low here, but it just appears to be making lower highs every time it bounces less, essentially. And so that is bearish. Lower highs is an indication of a downtrend. If we look at the curated charts, you can see that there is a downtrend here, a trend line. In fact, that's forming a descending triangle. And so we're coming to the pinnacle of that triangle here. And we'll see if it breaks above that or below that. Typically, descending triangles have bearish breakouts, unfortunately, but not always. I'd say 60% of the time. So we'll see if it breaks above the descending trend line, that we could revisit. Certainly 3,000, but even 3,500 will be the next major resistance area. And the other thing that I wanted to do is look at some coins in an uptrend. One way to do that very quickly is if you go to the signal summary section here, we have lots of predefined filters for you. These are like good building blocks for your trading strategies to narrow down the list of coins to look at. And one of them, very simple one, is just looking at coins in an up or down trend. So these green numbers are bullish. If you're trading on a daily time interval, then it looks like there are 52 coins that are in an uptrend across the short term, medium, and long term time horizons. On top of that list is Luna, not surprising. So again, if we look at the trends here, then you can see that these are all either an up or a strong uptrend across all three. Now you may say, you know what, let's ignore the long term and just focus on the short term and medium term. So you can just simply remove the long term and look at others that perhaps satisfy this less restrictive criteria. And Luna, let's take a Luna specifically. Let's look at candlestick chart. Also add some my favorite indicators like RSI and MACD, and a bit of a longer time horizon. Let's look at the year. So clearly in a solid uptrend, certainly some volatility here, but a solid uptrend. And what we're up against now is a very stiff resistance area at $100. It was rejected here back in December, pulled back, and now recently it was again rejected here maybe a week or so ago, and now we're barreling through that again, or about to. It looks like it's just crossed over that. Now I wouldn't jump the gun just yet, because it has crossed above that in the past. So I would really wait for it to close above the $100 resistance. And again, we talk about that in the curated charts here, that's a key level, that there's some positive bullish indications of an uptrend, like the higher high that we saw recently as well. And by the way, we talked about the pullback to $80 support as a good swing entry area, which has worked well. So I recommend you do check these curated charts out frequently for some trade setup ideas. And so here, let's say if we close above the $100 mark, that would indicate that the buyers have overwhelmed the sellers here, and that the price is likely to head higher above the $100 mark. There's certainly some positive news and events taking place around Terra Luna, specifically with $1 billion fund that was established to support the USD, the stablecoin, the Terra stablecoin. Also, there were a couple other coins that recently has made some big moves, and those were Monero and Zcash. And these two coins, Monero and Zcash, popped big time yesterday on the narrative that these privacy coins that are difficult or impossible to trace down may be used by Russians to transfer or move their wealth or part of their wealth out of the country, now that the sanctions make it extremely difficult or impossible for them to do. Whether that's really happening or going to happen, I can't really tell at this point, but it certainly had a big move yesterday. As you can see, these long candlestick. It opened at 157 and went as high as 228. So, a solid 50% gain yesterday. But, again, an example where 200-day moving average makes a difference. It exactly touched it and then pulled back, and today it's trading down again. The short-term horizon trend has turned bullish, as you can see, the green bar here. So we could be at a point of trend reversal. This price has also been kind of moving sideways recently, which is also a break from the downtrend. And this breakout was very significant again. As I mentioned, the short-term trend has already turned bullish. So on this pullback, let's look at our created chart and the resistance and support areas. Now that we clear the resistance zone on 190, it really becomes a support zone. And so, a pullback to 190 or so could be a good swing entry area potentially, which is kind of where we are now, 193. So if you're looking to put on some pullback in an uptrend trade here, this could be a good candidate on the pullback. All right, guys, I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, please email us at invest@alphins.com.